Here's your wrestling news for December 29th, 2024. We're kicking off with AEW as in April, the promotion aired the backstage altercation between CM Punk and Jack Perry after Punk made some unflattering comments about AEW in an interview. While fans were split on whether this was the right move, it seemingly paid off for AEW, as this week it was reported that Tony Khan believes the footage helped immensely. According to the AEW president, airing the footage helped AEW secure its new, better TV deal with WBD, and Khan does not believe for a moment he made a mistake. As for Punk, he'll be in action tonight in Chicago, where he'll challenge World Heavyweight Champion Gunther in a street fight as Punk continues to put his AEW run behind him. But what do you think of WWE having this first time ever match at a WWE live event instead of on TV? Please share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. Over to AEW World's End now, as plenty of stars appeared on the show, and Fightful Select reports that Bryan Danielson was spotted backstage at Orlando's Edition Financial Arena. Bryan hasn't competed since Wrestle Dream, which marked the end of his full-time career, and fans remain eager to see the American Dragon back on TV in the future. The main card of World's End began with the C2 semifinals between Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay, with the winner going on to face either Ricochet or Kazuchika Okada. This was 100 miles per hour from the bell and didn't slow down until Fletcher rolled out to regroup, and once he gained the upper hand, he slowed things down and taunted the crowd. Amid the punishment, Ospreay was busted open and Fletcher tasted some of the blood, and it wasn't long until this small cut became the proverbial Crimson Mask. Fletcher caught Ospreay in the middle of a handspring in an impressive display of power, and a chop by Fletcher caught his former ally in the throat. It's hard to say if this was an accident or was a planned spot, but Ospreay recovered quickly and, with Fletcher, put on a match that was just as good as their previous encounter. This also felt completely different, with a bit of everything thrown in, and after some impressive reversals, Ospreay hit the Styles Clash and got the pin to advance. This may have been a bit bloody for some, but it was an awesome display of the skills of two of AEW's very best, once again proving their talent. In our second semifinals, Kazuchika Okada was the de facto babyface given Ricochet's recent heel turn, at least in the eyes of the crowd. Ricochet's signature fast-paced arsenal left the Continental Champion with his hands full, but Okada's more measured approach kept him in the fight. While best known for his high-flying, Ricochet showed he's stronger than people realize, as he was able to lift Okada off the mat with no problem. Okada slapping the back of Ricochet earned one of the biggest pops of the night, and in the end, Okada hit the Rainmaker clothesline to get the win and advance to the finals. This was a solid match, but left a lot of room to grow, and as Ricochet looked despondent after the match, Swerve Strickland arrived on the stage to taunt him. Prince Nana handed out toilet paper rolls that the fans threw at Ricochet, as AEW is going all in on this heel turn for the one and only. In the Tijuana Street Fight, AEW Women's World Champion Mariah May faced Thunder Rosa, who arrived with a piñata and chain around her neck. May wore cargo pants to show she was taking the street fight seriously, but Rosa jumped on May from the apron to start things before the champ got in the ring. The pair used a variety of weapons, including chairs, tables, chains, a bottle of alcohol, and even Rosa's dad's cane, and the challenger's piñata was full of thumbtacks. As is the rule in wrestling, those who introduce the tacks end up being slammed into them, and May had some fun interactions with Rosa's dad, who was nearby. May threw a trash can at Rosa in a particularly painful-looking spot, and it looked like Rosa didn't know it was going to happen. May retained by hitting a Storm Zero piledriver through a table for the win in an entertaining, brutal match that made both look good. With the Dynamite Diamond ring on the line, Adam Cole got the first strike on MJF, while Matt Taven and Mike Bennett watched from ringside. MJF ran Cole into the steel steps, which led to Cole bleeding, and MJF tried to open the wound more by sending him into the ring post. Cole landed hard on his injured leg, which MJF quickly targeted with a chop block, but it wasn't long after that MJF was busted open too, with both bleeding from the head. MJF faked an injury and acted like Taven and Bennett had attacked him to get the pair ejected, which gave him time to grab the Dynamite Diamond ring. Cole saw it coming and hit a super kick, but in the end, a low blow and Heat Seekers secured MJF the win in a match of two halves. The first was relatively uneventful, but the second half picked up quite a bit, and the result was predictable, but how he got there was a little surprising. Post-match, Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly took out MJF and helped Cole to his feet in a show of solidarity between the Undisputed Trio. In a battle of former stablemates, Powerhouse Hobbs was out first to face international champion Konosuke Takeshita, whose big size made the pair look even when trading blows. This is much different than usual for Hobbs, who almost always has the size advantage over opponents, giving this match a unique layer to it. The challenger took control early, but Takeshita focused on the knee that Hobbs injured months ago, and they worked a methodical pace that allowed for plenty of selling. Hobbs' selling of the knee injury slowed the pace down as well, and this looked like a tough fight for both men, who at one point lost their balance trying to set up a superplex. The resilient Hobbs was the star here, while Takeshita was the wily opportunist preying on injuries, and in the end, Takeshita got the clean win to retain his title. TBS champion Mercedes Mone arrived at the Edition Financial Arena in Orlando in a monster truck, and given her previous win, she looked confident ahead of her title match with Kris Statlander. Statlander immediately established her power advantage by shoving Mone to the mat during their first lockup, but the CEO had the quickness and agility to combat the challenger's strength. Mone wasn't afraid to break a couple of rules, but never relied on anything too illegal to get ahead, but while this match looked good, it lacked the flow and fluidity of their previous encounter. Things did improve as the match went on, and a creative spot saw Statlander remove her boot to avoid a countout as it was stuck on part of the ring. This earned her a tombstone piledriver on the apron that nearly took her out completely, and despite the first few clunky minutes, this turned into one of the best matches of the night. Mone couldn't get the submission win, but a pinning combo kept the challenger down for good, ending 2024 on a massive high for the TBS champion. A bandaged Ospreay with blood still on his gear came out first to challenge Okada for the Continental title, and the aura of this match earned a shit chant before the bout even got started. It's funny that Ospreay didn't attempt to get a single drop of blood off between matches, but the champ's first shot only seemed to fire the billy goat up. Outside of the ring, Okada focused on Ospreay's head and removed the bandage he was wearing and mockingly donned it as an armband to taunt the British star. Given both men had already wrestled, the pace was slower than you'd expect, but not in a bad way, as they weren't just moving slowly, but were taking time to sell. Ospreay's leg got caught between the ropes in a spot that looked like an accident, but he continued like nothing was wrong and had short bursts of offense in the match. However, Okada had him reeling from his injuries, and Will didn't make his big comeback until the last few minutes, but it was ultimately too late. After several counters and close 2 counts, Okada hit the Rainmaker for the pin and the win, and the pair shared a respectful handshake after the match. And in the main event, Jon Moxley rolled out of the ring while Orange Cassidy, Jay White, and Hangman Page battled each other until OC delivered a tope suicida to the world champion. With no DQs, the Death Riders freely interfered, but all 3 opponents were able to put Moxley through a table before turning on each other, showing it was every man for himself. Moxley had a cut on his head after a couple of minutes, which may have been due to the triple powerbomb through the table. Page would have had the match won had the ref not been taken out, and when it looked like White would win the gold, Wheeler Yuta attacked the ref to stop the count. Marina Shafir, arguably Moxley's closest ally in the Death Riders, also got involved, and the crowd popped big when she got hit with a Blade Runner. In the end, Moxley retained with a Death Rider DDT on White in a frantic main event that may have been a little overbooked, but was ultimately enjoyable. A post-match segment saw FTR and the returning Adam Copeland arrive to take out the Death Riders, sending the crowd home happy to end the pay-per-view. And that was AEW World's End, and what did you think of the show? Let us know in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching.